with the variables, the digestion variables. This is related to the PHS in human design, which is like pretty next level of the detailed information. It goes super in depth. And so that's why it's kind of harder to find information on the variables. The PHS goes deep into like with your personal health and those kinds of things. So today we'll be talking about digestion as it relates to your environment as well as digesting your food. And so just a reminder that all of this with human design is like you check with your own intuition about if it's time and right for you to apply it, and try not to get too caught up into the mental stories of it and more into the experiment in your body of does this resonate and does this not resonate. And also sometimes it's just a matter of timing if something aligns or not. And so I've definitely noticed that. Like I'll hear something with my design and like, that doesn't really resonate. But then later on, it will come into alignment. So just something to be mindful of before we dive into these specific suggestions with it. Okay, so the left-facing arrows in your chart are more structured energy. It's more of a masculine energy if you have a left-facing arrow. So masculine energy being more linear, more structured. So in terms of digestion, that could be like enjoying meal planning, having a routine with your specific meal times, and liking that structure at the same time of day, etc. And if you have a right-facing digestion arrow, you may enjoy more of a flow with your digestion. So feminine energy being more circular or more wave-like, and it being too constrictive for having a set schedule of I need to eat at this time and I need to know this far out in advance what I'm going to eat. And again, this can apply to digestion of information as well. So you may be more varied in how you like to learn things or the times of day and those kinds of things. So this arrow is the top left arrow of your chart for the determination. So you'll see it right here under design on the left side. You need a chart that shows your determination to be able to see this variable. So mine is open. And here are the different types. So there are 6 different types. And then based on if it's facing to the left or facing to the right, then it has a separate category, a separate subgroup. So the first one is appetite. So if you have appetite, you do best with simple, whole, close to the source foods, and likely foods. And you may enjoy eating the same thing, having an appetite for it, really liking a specific food. And then when you're done with it, you're done with it. And it kind of gives you a kind of a ick or a just, blah about it. Don't have an appetite for it anymore. Then you know it's time to listen to your body that you don't want to continue having that food a lot. So if you have the left-facing arrow, this is consecutive. And again, all the left-facing arrow means the more structured, the more active brain, and may enjoy the more structure with the meal times and the meal planning and those kinds of things. So that kind of flavors throughout every different variable, whether you have the left or right, the left needing more structure and the right wanting less structure, typically. Okay, so the consecutive determination likes larger meals to satisfaction until full. And so these tips for digestion are essentially how your body best operates in digestion, in optimal situation, in optimal running of it. And then the right facing arrow is alternating. And this is more of a grazing appetite, simple whole foods as needed, maybe less into having a large meal and needing to get to that place of really full as often. Okay, so then the next one is taste. And taste branches into open or closed. So whether you have open or closed, it's best to eat seasonally. What is local and in season is how your body digests the best. And let's see. Oh, this wasn't really part of that. But although that, again, actually applies to anything, eat what you enjoy intuitively and notice your body hunger cues. Works for all of this, for all of us, and especially if you have an open sacral, like a projector or a manifester, then being in tune with the energy of how you're feeling as you eat is also extra important. Okay, so left facing arrow is open, and this is an energy of maybe being open to trying new foods. Again, eating seasonally and what's local being best for you, but you may be more open in your digestion to trying new foods. And also you may be more sensitive with an open system. So noticing and experimenting how your body does as you try foods and seeing what your reaction is with them and if they work well for you or not. And then with a closed system, a closed determination, I found this super interesting because if you have closed, it's literally like you're closed. You're less suggestible to trying new foods, and you instinctively know if you would like it or not, and if it's good for you or not. So I can see how with kids, I want to go look at my kids' charts again and see, because sometimes there is just a natural with this determination, a natural knowing of not open to that. It's going to not be for me. So, all right. And then thirst. Thirst, the subgroup is hot and cold. So for thirst and for touch, they are actually the opposite in description. And so if you have hot thirst, then your body may run a little cold, and having more hot foods, more hot thirst will help bring you to more alignment and be in homeostasis more. So you may do best with having room temperature foods or warmer, maybe adding in some spices to warm things up. And then the environment can be a factor. If you are in a warmer environment, you may be able to handle digestion of foods that are colder than if you are in a cold environment. Then adding more cold, your body's not going to be able to digest as well. And so if you have the cold determination, then your body may actually run more warm and need cooler foods to help balance and run optimally. So this may be someone who likes to eat ice cream even in the winter and feels totally great, and that doesn't bother them because they naturally run more hot. And if you do have cooling foods to go with, if you're having spicier foods to kind of balance that up. So again, all of this can be an experiment in noticing how your body responds to these foods and if this applies to you or not. Okay, so if you have touch, again, this one runs in the opposite of the description. So if you have the left facing arrow of calm, then you would want to digest your food in a calm environment because you naturally have a more active brain and have already a lot of stimulation going on mentally. So you will do best to counterbalance that with getting into a place of stillness to digest and to eat and be able to relax. If you have a nervous determination, then you are naturally more neutral and calm and may forget to eat. So this is the right facing arrow that's more in flow, and combining that with already being a very relaxed nature, relaxed mind, forgetting to eat and not really having a big desire to could be common. And so what you could do is, and this could also be a factor with combined with your environment for finding the best solution, but having the energy of others or reminders, you could also bring in your sense to determine what makes wanting to eat food a stimulation for you. Okay, so next, sound. So if you have high sound, then you enjoy surrounding yourself with noise. This may be best for digestion for you. Having noise, having music may help and feel best to you when eating and digesting food or information. So talking out loud, hearing yourself speak, those kinds of things. So, and then if you have low sound, you may find that you do best in more quiet environments before you eat or while you eat, and that this helps your body to digest best. So you may like more stillness, less quiet. And again, this could apply also to learning information and mentally studying things and how your brain processes it. And we can talk at the end about any questions. There's just one more. And then for light, direct light, you do best eating during the day. So having literal sunlight helps your body to digest most optimally. And if you do intermittent fasting, then you would want to front load with eating at the beginning of the day in the sunlight, less in the evenings, or having that be the bulk of your time that you're eating the most is when it's bright and more well lit, and being able to actually see your food visually is ideal for digestion. And then if you have indirect light, you may like to have dim lighting for eating, eat more in the evening, have less of an appetite when it's the morning time and more of an appetite in the evening, and even possibly having more of an appetite in the winter than in the summer, may be natural. And so again, with this being a right-facing arrow and being less structured naturally, that also would be a factor in having that flow to noticing when you are actually hungry and noticing your hunger cues. All right, so that's all I have for the slides.